be very selective. Start practicing tomorrow. My heart doesn't want this. My heart wants this. My heart doesn't want this. My heart wants this. You need a full heart want, not want audit. And God needs to hear all of it. Like, to give God the whole laundry list, tell God everything has to go, and then sit back and get a martini and let God do the work. Good day, my soul family, and welcome to the final week of 2016. Well, Mercury is retrograde, and the new moon is on Thursday, and Sensei says you'll be making your New Year's resolutions by then. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your weekly Namaste Today. Welcome to Namaste Today, the joyful way to start your day. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Sensei Christopher Witecki. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. It is the final week of 2016, and I just got to tell you, this year has been one of the most difficult years I've ever had. You know what? I say that every year, but I do have good predictions for 2017. I think it's going to be much more positive than we've experienced before. I'll be talking about that in today's tea time. But first, let's take a look at the week's moods in your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is from Monday, December 26th through Friday, December 30th. Looking at your 5-day moodcast, Monday is partly cloudy and dreamy. You're probably going through Christmas aftershock. On Tuesday, it's sunny and super optimistic, probably the brightest day of the week. On Wednesday, it's cloudy, introverted, and spiritual. You're likely contemplating the big questions. And on Thursday, it's the new moon. I'm predicting sunny and serious. Make your wishes for the new year. And on Friday, it's going to be sunny and ambitious. In fact, it's a little dangerous. Be careful that evening. Well, my friends, it's the final week of 2016, and I have some pointers for you in your sneak peek of next week. And also, I have a tea time that will give you a little prediction of 2017. But first, let's take a sneak peek at the week. Taking a look at the upcoming week, it looks like one of those funky weeks between Christmas and New Year's. I always think these weeks are strange anyways, and on top of it this week that we have Mercury retrograde, so our minds are kind of inside out. We're privy to new information or things we didn't know about, and it really just leaves one wondering what's going to be up. In fact, I've actually coined this week in getting comfortable with uncertainty. And I think that's what we're all going to have to do, particularly on the new moon on Thursday. Monday starts off kind of cloudy and pensive, and like I said, you'll be kind of in an after-Christmas coma. But Tuesday is the best day of the week. The moon's going to be in Sagittarius. It's going to cross Saturn. So I think you're going to kind of chin up and have a belief for the future. If you've been waiting for the man to give you a break or waiting for some new information, you might actually receive it or find out something on Tuesday that kind of loosens up the rules and opens up the playing field. So if you've been distraught because you've been working against the system or you haven't found an answer yet, Tuesday looks like there might be an opportunity. If nothing else, you'll be willing to kind of stand up and move ahead with what you know. Now, Wednesday is a very spiritual day. And when I look at the planets for this whole week and really for the next month, it all looks very spiritual. We have Venus that's approaching Neptune and Mars that's approaching Chiron. And so the universe is pushing for us to get on our spiritual path. Not to mention, we just had the sun cross the galactic center. And when Mercury stops on its retrograde on January 8th, it will stop on the galactic center. And I believe the galactic center is our personal deal with God universe. So the point is you might be out for the promotion, you might be out for the money, you might be out for the love, but the universe is out for what your soul signed up for. And on Wednesday, as the sun crosses Mercury at step 7, I think you're going to come to some understanding about what your soul really wants versus your ego or your brain. So Wednesday is a cloudy day, but maybe a profound day. Then Thursday is the new moon, and this new moon is a step 8 new moon, and this is where I'm saying we have to kind of get used to uncertainty because Mercury will be retrograde, and so we'll be setting our intentions not really sure of how things will unfold. And that's really the best plan to make. I always say, make a plan, but plan to change your plans. Well, that is particularly true this particular week and for the rest of this month and Capricorn. We're just going to have to wait and see to see how things go. So Thursday is a quiet day. You might be a little sleepy, but it's also very serious because I think you'll be making your New Year's resolutions, whether you're aware of it or not. Then comes Friday. And Friday is actually going to be kind of aggressive. It's a step 9 day. You'll probably put some of your actions into motion. And as far as people going out on New Year's, I just want to say, Friday is actually the dangerous day, I think, as far as the weekend partying is concerned. So be careful on Friday night. There's some energies there that look a little off. And for the record, Saturday, New Year's Eve, looks to be really cool. The sun will be ruled by Taurus. We'll be feeling like we're manifesting on that day. And the moon will be in Aquarius, so we'll be very futuristic. And even Aquariuses will probably be out and about. Sunday, New Year's Day, it's going to be a day of healing, and again, a bit detached in Aquarius. So overall, I think this week ahead is a funky week, one where we're super inside ourselves and doing a lot of processing and really preparing for the new year ahead. All right, without further ado, let's now move on to our tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is Happy New Year 2017. And by the way, I've had to cheat today with a little Starbucks because I don't have my coffee mug on the set. I'm back here in California with Bella, hanging out with my programmers for Serious Joy because we're about to release a new edition of our software. But I forgot my prop, so forgive me there. Well, this year is going to be an interesting year. You know, I have to say, looking at 2016, it was a very difficult year, and when I look at yearly reviews, I tend to look at the outer planets because they're really what serve as a theme for the whole year. And 2016, first of all, was very difficult. Pluto was really going back over between step 16 and step 14, where it kind of retrograded, and that really was, I think, the biggest mark of 2016 was that we were breaking the rules. And I think really, honestly, Donald Trump and his presidential election, he kind of at least sponsored that Pluto as far as breaking all the rules. And breaking all the rules with political correctness, breaking all the rules with how things are done, how campaigns are run. We even saw, you know, with the WikiLeaks, a lot of rules broken with stuff coming out and information coming out. And with ourselves and our own personal journey, we were feeling confined by certain rules. And I think, you know, it wasn't until we were put into a pressure point and we realized that a lot of our beliefs weren't going to come the way we thought they were and things weren't going to unfold the way they thought they were. So we ended up ending the year in a lot of indecision, but ready to do anything it takes, right? Like anything it takes to feel better. On top of that, we have Neptune and Chiron, Neptune in the early degrees of Pisces and Chiron in the high degrees of Pisces. And so this whole year in 2016 was very much a spiritual push to get on your actual soul path. And let me tell you, our ego and our mind can take us way off course. And so that was sometimes a very difficult path. I remember even in the first part of 2016, I kind of swayed from my daily spiritual practice, and then I got back on it in the summer. So the universe was really pushing for us to connect to our soul and our personal truth. So, you know, those are probably the most difficult lessons to have. When you're being pushed to truth, you're having to break the rules. And with Uranus and Aries, we've had to be strong. We've had to find our strength when we couldn't find it before. And then Saturn in Sagittarius, all the while pretty much learning where we were wrong, okay? Because Saturn in the early degrees from 0 to 15 is pretty much where you're wrong, where you thought you were right, but you were wrong, you know what I mean? Not believing in yourself and having to learn to believe in yourself. So really, 16 was all the difficult degrees. Now, my prediction for... Oh, Bella! She's got a little spirit there. She's barking at one of our viewers. Now, it's okay. 2017 will be all right. So for 2017, I'm actually thinking things are going to be a lot better, to be honest with you. In fact, I almost think it's going to be a little misleading because I predict it'll be some sort of a honeymoon period. And I've been predicting this honeymoon period for a while. For instance, I didn't know if Donald Trump would win the election or if Hillary Clinton would win the election, but I kind of saw the honeymoon period coming either way, and I kind of thought, well, if Hillary wins, the honeymoon period will be until the dark forces take over. Like until she gets all of her fingers in. And if Donald Trump wins, the honeymoon period will be oh my gosh, something new. We're all excited about something new. Well, it looks like it's going to be the Donald Trump path, which I think the stock market is already showing that we are optimistic, that the markets are optimistic. I know Russia and China are a little nervous, and a lot of conservative people in power are nervous. But the planets show that a lot of optimism will reign in 2017. Now, some of this may be false optimism, all right? Saturn's going to continue blazing all the way through March, through Sagittarius. So you will have your working theory on how things really are in life pretty much by Easter. And then from Easter for 6 months as Saturn retrogrades, you're going to be rethinking, or you're going to see if you were right or if you were wrong. Okay, so your beliefs will either launch you or they will not launch you. But we're learning very fast, and this learning does not stop through January, February, March. So your beliefs go forging ahead, your theories go forging ahead, and a lot of the decisions you're making right here on New Year's Eve, in this Capricorn energy, will kind of decide the fate of how things go for you this year. So, you know, if I can give you any advice, it will be to choose with your spirit. Choose what your spirit knows is true. Put your left hand on your heart and ask your spirit before you make a big decision. But things can also go a little wildly optimistic too. Because Saturn's in the late degrees of Sagittarius, a lot of what's going on is just going to be theory. So it's like, for instance, even President-elect Trump has a lot of theories about how he's going to actually, you know, boost the economy. Everyone has theories. These aren't proven yet. And with Neptune and Chiron both in Pisces, this really allows for a lot of fanaticism, a lot of people going over the top, people following false prophets, you know. So there's a lot of ridiculous ideas, you know, and ridiculous things that come out during the same period. And people who are bordering on the edge of ridiculous will probably go overboard between now and March, but you won't really see the results of it until this summer. Now, one of the forces that has been going on is Jupiter in Libra. And Jupiter in Libra pretty much is opposing Uranus and Aries. Uranus and Aries is pushing for people to build a new character, to find new actions, for new ego. And actually, it was Uranus and Aries that that started up the Nazism and fascism back in the 1930s. So the same energy that allows men to go too far is still very active. I think in most people, the energy is kind of just devised as trying to find your strength and trying to stand tall. But again, when you have those planets in the high degrees of Pisces, and you have Saturn pushing you to come up with wild theories, you could definitely have people go too far. And I gotta say, looking at President-elect Trump and who he has appointed to his cabinet, everything is set up to go way too far, isn't it? Like, everything is set up to go over the top. And as a light walker, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to have to stand up and fight neo-capitalism, or if we're going to actually see it work. So it's going to be very, basically, for the first 6 months of the year, I think it's going to be wildly optimistic. I think everyone's ideas are going to run, and I don't think we're going to really know until Saturn goes retrograde whose ideas were good and whose ideas were phony. Now, with the Jupiter and Uranus opposition I was just talking about, that side of life that's making us get stronger with Uranus and Aries and become a stronger person, Jupiter on the other side in Libra is pushing for fairness, balance, and justice. So that, a lot of the tug-of-war we're feeling between the Democrats and the Republicans and the right and the left is actually Jupiter in Libra opposing Uranus in Aries. And I think that Jupiter in Libra is actually trying to soften that Uranus in Aries and help us be strong but not aggressive, strong but not warfaring, right? Strong but not abusive, right? But the weird thing about these planets is, if people are already arrogant, then the Jupiter in Libra side can make people think that they have to get their fair share and that they're going to rush for their fair share. So it can be taken the wrong way. So what I see for the year is actually going to be kind of a honeymoon period. I think most people are going to feel really happy. They're going to have a lot of optimism. They're going to have a lot of hope. Everything's going to be blazing forward with a lot of plans. It's almost like kind of the dot-com boom we had in the early 90s, in the late 90s rather, where everything just got happy and people were living for tomorrow. But I think it'll be a really contained bubble, and I think that bubble will pop probably around October or November of the year. So if you're starting a business, if you're starting something, I would say race for the hills. It was like if this was the California gold rush, I would say Go for the gold as crazy as you can between now and October, but then in October, be ready to nestle down. Because really, things get really serious once Saturn hits Capricorn, and that'll be literally 1 year from now, somewhere around Christmas Eve of 2017, Saturn goes into Capricorn, and at that point, we start seeing for reals the returns of these wild ideas and these theories, and we start having to kind of pay the piper, so to speak. But I think you should take advantage of the optimism. I don't think you should worry about things falling apart. I think that after so much serious and dark energy that we've had in the last couple of years, the universe is literally giving us a bit of a breathing room. And these high planets in Pisces that allow people to become fanatics or go too far, they also serve for those of us who are in the light to ascend and go to higher vibrations. So I believe a lot of people who are prepared are going to start to ascend into 5D and kind of ascend out of this kind of world. In fact, you know, this is kind of a hippie year too. You'll probably see a lot of people dabble in spirituality and dabble in strange things this year more than you have any year in the past. The last thing I'll say for my light walkers out there, if you are a light walker, if you want to help people for a living, if you are a spiritual practitioner, I think this next year is the best year for you to start your business. Even if you just put your foot down and put in a website, okay? I believe helping others is going to be the biggest, it's really the biggest future profession there is. As soon as robots start picking fruit, we're not going to have anything else but to improve ourselves, right? So I think that those of you who are starting that path, this is the year to start it. All right, my friends. Well, be careful on New Year's Eve. Remember that Sensei loves you. Also, if you want to get a New Year's Eve reading, look at how she knows to come up right at the end. Isn't that funny? She knows my tone. It's crazy. If you want a New Year's 2017 reading, you can come on down right now. I'm doing a reading sale, taking $50 off my 1 hours and $25 off of my half hours, and I will keep that sale up until January 2nd. Also, it's a great time to sign up for Serious Joy if you want hour-by-hour support. And I'll be having some audio files that predict the entire year by sign coming up soon. So be sure to check my Facebook or check my website at seriousjoy.tv. All right, friends, have a great new year. Remember, Bella and I both love you, and live, love, be. Hello, little Bella. Say hi to the people, Bella. Say hi to your fans. Hello. Everyone thinks Bella's big. She's a tiny little thing. Totally tiny. You know where she's from? Vietnam. My business partner brought her from Vietnam. So she's a tough doggy. She tells people what to do. Say Happy New Year, Bella. She's not in it.